Okay, so now what did we learn earlier? We learned that unless and until the gate and source voltage does not cross the threshold voltage, there is no channel that is present between the source and the drain. Okay, so for the conduction or the flow of electrons to take place, this gate and source voltage, that is VGS, it should cross a minimum value, which is the threshold voltage, or in other words we can say that only and only when VGS is greater than VTH, VTH is your threshold and VGS is the gate source voltage, as we discussed earlier. Only after VGS is greater than VTH, then the channel is formed, and that channel, it is inverted in nature. What does inverted mean? Inverted means that earlier the substrate was P type, now it has been converted to N type. So after VGS is greater than VTH, the interface is as much N type as the substrate is P type. Okay. Another very important way, or a better way of describing VTH is that, see, earlier we had a P-type substrate, okay, and then we want to convert it to or we want to invert it to N-type layer. Okay, so let's say that in that interface where the channel is formed, there were X number of holes. Okay, so VTH is the voltage that is required. VTH is your minimum voltage, minimum gate source voltage that is required to replace the X number of holes by X number of electrons. So that is why we say that VGS is greater than VTH. It means that the interface is now as much N type as the substrate is P type. Okay. Now, more the value of VGS, more is the width of the channel. Okay, that is the channel width. It is directly proportional to VGS minus VTH. Obviously, when you are increasing the gate source voltage, the number of electrons which are attracted towards the interface, it is more. Fine. So the width of the channel, it will increase. Then we have given a very simple example wherein we have said that if VTH is 1 volt in both the cases, and for first case VGS is 3 volt and for the second case VGS is 4 volt, so where will be the width of the channel? Where will it be more? It will be more where VGS is 4 volts. So the width of the channel, it is directly proportional to VGS minus VTH. Okay, and if VTH is constant, then we can say VGS is the parameter which affects the channel width. Okay, now this VGS minus VTH, it is called as the overdrive voltage. Overdrive means that it is the voltage which is present in excess. Excess of what? Excess of what is required to make the channel, that is excess of VTH. Whatever is more than VTH, that voltage VGS minus VTH is then called as the overdrive voltage. And why is it called as the overdrive voltage? The overdrive voltage, because it drives your overdrives your MOSFET into saturation. Okay, we will discuss this overdrive voltage again when we come to the saturation mode of the MOSFET. Okay, for now, what did we learn? We learned that only after VTH is crossed, there is a channel which is formed. There is a path for the flow of electrons. Okay, then I told you what VTH is. VTH is the voltage which is required to make the interface as much N type as the substrate was P type there. Okay, and then we also learned that the channel width, it depends on what the value of VGS. Okay, or we can say that the more is the value of the gate source voltage, the more is the width of the channel. Okay, after that, now what we are basically trying to do is we are trying to plot the characteristics of the MOSFET today based on what we have learned earlier. Okay, let's come to where I have written case 2. Now what do we say we have? We are saying that our parameters are such that VGS, it is greater than VTH. That means there is a channel formed, and VDS has a small positive value. What does VDS having a small positive value mean? It means that the drain is at a positive terminal and it has the capability of attracting the electrons which will flow from the source to the drain. Okay, and VGS greater than VTH means that the electrons will flow and a path is present there. Okay, so because a path is present there and there is a value of a positive value on VDS or on the drain, we will say that there will be a current that will flow between the drain and the source, that is denoted as IDS. Okay, and IDS is both a linear function of VGS minus VTH and VDS. How it is a linear function, will come to know about it very soon. First, have a look at this graph. This graph is plotted between ID and VDS. ID is your drain current and VDS is the what? It is the gate, sorry, it is the drain source voltage. For what? For different values of VGS minus VTH. Okay, so first you need to understand is that what is the behavior of the drain current with respect to the drain source voltage. Obviously, if the drain source voltage is increased, okay, up to a certain value, I won't say it is okay, let's just leave this ID versus VDS. We'll explain it in a different graph wherein we'll also discuss saturation region. Let's just see what are these two lines that I have made. I have written VGS minus VTH1 is greater than VGS1 minus VTH1. So this here shows how the drain current, it varies as I am increasing the gate source voltage. When the gate source voltage is increased for say VGS2 being greater than VGS1, the drain current, it will increase. Why will it increase? Obviously because the more the value of gate source voltage, more will be the width of the channel and more will be the amount of charge that will flow through the channel from source to gate. So these are two lines that I have made over here. The one which is at a greater value, or the one which is on the top, is for VGS2 and the one which is at the bottom is for VGS1, and VGS1 is less than VGS2. Okay, then we also need to understand the behavior of ID versus VDS. We will come to that in the next graph. Okay, for now what you need to understand is that as I increase my gate source voltage, my drain current, it increases because the channel width, it increases. Okay, so what does this MOSFET it act like? It acts like in this region, it acts like a voltage control resistor. The more you increase the voltage, the more is the value of the current, because it is showing a linear it is increasing in a linear fashion. Okay, so we're done with this. Now we have another very important concept which is called a channel length modulation. Channel length modulation is to be taken in detail when we are studying the second order effects of MOSFET, but let's just give you a brief idea over here. Okay, take the source end into consideration. Okay, the source voltage. Okay, at the source my voltage will be okay. Here at the source my voltage is VGS minus VDS, but VDS, it increases, it is 0 at source and it is maximum at the drain terminal. So I can say that VDS, it increases from source to drain, or it decreases from drain to source. So at my source what I'll have is VGS minus VDS, but the value of VDS is 0 over there. So at my source I'll have VGS, and at my drain I'll have VGS minus VDS. VDS is maximum at the drain. Okay, so what is the basic condition for the channel to be formed? The basic condition is that VGS, it should be greater than VDS. Okay. Okay, so let's just come to this part of the PDF. Okay, here I've written it. On the right hand side, sorry, on the left hand side, I've said that